Hi there. Hi, everybody. I'm in Damariscotta, Maine at the Mill Pond Inn, hanging out with my friends Bobby and Sherry. And Allie's here, and some new friends that I just met. Yeah. You have seen me before out on that porch. In fact, there was probably these flowers picked from out back there. I had nice flowers behind me on the porch, too. But we just had a really nice meal, some burgers and salads and good conversation. And it's a nice way to start off an evening. Good to have you all. Good to have you all here with me. And I have leftovers for you from our request night yesterday. And but I also. We may not even get to the leftovers tonight because I had Bobby and Sherry tell me what songs they wanted to hear tonight, and I have a pretty extensive request list just from them alone. So whatever we don't get to tonight, we'll dig into tomorrow. Also, I should let you know this is kind of exciting for me. I have a great artist joining me live in person at the gathering tomorrow night, Chris Trapper. For those of you who don't know him, he is an extraordinary singer-songwriter. For those of you that do know him, you are, I'm sure, as excited as I am. So, good couple nights planned, and then I'm out with the band for the next 4. So, lots of adventuring to come this week. Gonna start off with one for Bobby and Sherry's daughter. This one's called Becky. Becky, I'm gonna roll up my sleeves, get up off my knees, realize in my head that it was never meant to be for you and me. Becky, I'm gonna turn around, it's time, grow up in my mind, gather up on courage I can find, leave you behind. Cause a boy can't understand love, and you say I've never grown up, but I'll be here trying hard as I can. 'Cause now's my time to be a man. Becky, we're right from the start. I never knew your heart, living in my head, playing games with art, games with art. Cause a boy can't understand love when you say I've never grown up, but I'll be here trying hard as I can. Cause now's my time to be a man. Ashes, ashes, we all fall down. 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 Cause a boy can't understand love, and you say I've never grown up, but I'll be here trying hard as I can. 'Cause that's my time to be. Can't understand love, and you say I've never grown up, trying hard as I can. 'Cause now's my time to be a man. Yeah, that's your mom. All right. I don't think I've hung out with Becky before. Have I? Have I yet to hang out with Becky?
No, you haven't spent time with her. I think you introduced her once, maybe
At a concert? So I was probably drunk. Yep. All right. Then I was definitely drunk. Yep. Lot of cool memories in this town. We've played a lot of concerts here. We've played house concerts. We've played fundraising concerts. There are millions of alewife fish that come here to breed, and they come up this little trickly kind of brook from the ocean. They all come millions and millions. How many millions?
1.5.
1.5 million fish, right? From all over come in at this one particular time, and they swim up this tiny little brook. Like they have to jump up these like you literally see them jumping up, defying gravity until they get to this tiny little pond behind me here, where they all get laid and make more alewife. But it's been a huge project of my friends here to raise money to rehabilitate that little brook. They call it the fish ladder now because they have built a little. It's like a reverse water slide up to the pond, basically. You can think of it like that for fish. Pretty cool. Okay. Let's see. Next request. Oh, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play this is a song called Daniel the Brave. Bobby request. I was wandering in a desert town, waiting on a wire. I met a brown-haired girl preaching brimstone and fire. She drove an old pickup, she had dust on her shoes. Said, let's make for the sunrise, he's called us to move. Well, I jumped up in shotgun thinking, what could I lose? And I think love is the strangest creation I could dream to know. She drove fast like a rocket, straight like a train. 120 miles out, she asked me my name. At a little truck stop, she told them all to reach for the sky. She held up a pistol, there was a grin in her eye. She threw me a Bible, she said to read them a line. Well, I sang like a preacher, but she took every dime. I think love is the strangest creation I could dream to know. We had as a child, we called him Daniel the Brave. We were living in a shack behind a Navajo grave. Well, I woke one morning to a rope and some words on a sheet. She was hanging and the note read, baby, just count a sheep. And when I get to 100, in heaven we'll meet. And I think love is the strangest creation I could dream to know. Now me and Daniel, we travel with the wind at our backs. Sleeping out on freight beds, sharing bread from my pack. Well, I don't know about religion, but I'd like to believe that if there's a heaven, she's there waiting for me, where the trucks all drive fast and the mileage is free. And I think love is the strangest creation I could dream to know. I think love is the strangest creation I could dream to know. I think love is the strangest creation I could dream to know. Bobby likes the sad songs. He likes the sentimental sad songs.
Give the other one. Okay, Bobby, okay?
I'm gonna pace him out, Bobby. You can't. They're gonna be slitting their wrists.
I want tears.
How are you all doing? I haven't checked in for a second. Yeah, you're still there. All right, that's good. We were talking over dinner about some of our roots, where we used to play, where I started playing. First bar. Some of you have heard this story before, I know, but you know, there's a bar in Boston called Porter's, right near the Garden, and when I was starting to play music and I was starting to play with the band, I couldn't get hired in a club in Boston, and I had some friends that worked kind of downtown, and they said, you know what, Adam, before we go to games, we go to this bar. It's called Porter's. No one's ever in the bar. Even on game night, no one ever goes in the bar. You should ask the owner if you can play there. I bet he'd say yes. And I said, that's probably a good, sounds like a good strategy. So thanks. It was my buddies Tyler and John. Thanks to Tyler and John. I found the least successful bar in Boston, Massachusetts, and I went to the owner and I said, look, I got this band, and and I'd like to play in the corner of your bar some night. And the owner, his name is Scott, still there, Porter's, still not super crowded, but I think not as destitute as perhaps it once was back in the day, and still one of my favorite spots, actually, to go hang and have a beer before game. And he said, you know, well, let's give it a try, you know. And so we set up in the corner and we played there. I invited all my friends that I knew to come and drink beer there, and I think they liked that, and so they invited us the next month to come down. We started playing there once a month, and at the time, after a handful of months, after a while, when we'd be playing there on a Friday night, there'd be a line to get into Porter's, and that's when we started to get invited to play at some of the other kind of more proper music clubs around Boston. We started playing in little bars outside of Boston, and it just grew super slowly from there. But that's how we started out, and this was a song that I wrote from back in that day. There's a reference in verse 1 to a guy named Johnny, who you've heard me talk about before. That's Honey John Apple, my first drum set player that I played with, and there was a whole verse dedicated to Turtle, who we were also talking about tonight. So once you get to, I think it's verse 3, you'll hear me singing about Jenna, who's Turtle's daughter, and you'll hear me sing about a guy named T, and that's a poorly disguised turtle right there in that verse is what that is. So this one's called Kill Like This. Jim my tooth on a cannonball. John is down, who's the next to fall? Yeah. Kick up the draw a line in the sand. I'm gonna run through town with a dirty band. And the well-dressed cats are gonna take. And the dreamers fight to get a stake. And I said, game on, taste my kiss. Lights go up, I'm a kill like this. Pack up, turn around to kill another day. Hit hard, bite my lip. Drink one down as I turn my trick. Stand tall, tell them you can always walk away when the game is on. And we came to play. I left home for a life on the road, yeah. Was gonna bring back a pot of that player's gold. Now I'm caught like a cat in a tree. I see if old Mother Time's gonna bury me. And the straight and narrows have me cold. And the dreamers all get bought and sold. And I say, a game on, taste my kiss. Life's go up and kill like this. Pack up, turn around, kill another day. Drink one down as I turn my trick. Stand tall, tell them you can always walk away. The game is on, and we came to play. wants her daddy home, yeah. 3 years old, a half-empty home. T-don't and no 9 to 5, yeah. 'Cause he's got to play to stay alive, yeah. And every night that he's away, tapes his hands and hits it like it's his last day. And he said, game on, taste my kiss. Lights go up and I kill like this. Pack up, turn around, get another day. Hit hard, bite my lip. Drink one down as I turn my trick. Stand tall, tell him you can always walk away. Game on, taste my kiss. Lights go up and I kill like this. Pack up, turn around, kill another day. Hit hard, bite my lip. Drink one down as I turn my trick. Stand tall, tell him you can never walk away. But them is on, them a came to play. Thank you all. I got sweaty on that one.
Yeah. You all did.
I used to, man, when I would play those bars, we would play for like, 5 hours. We'd play, we'd set up. Some of these bars would hire us, and they just, that the deal was, they didn't hire us because, especially when we were outside of Boston, when we'd be playing in places in New Hampshire and Maine and Vermont and anywhere we would play. Most of the spots we didn't have fans, right? So when you got hired as a band, and usually if you got hired as a band, you were there to play cover songs, and we were not there to play cover songs. We were there to play our own songs. So we had to be a good band, but we also had to make sure that we would keep people drinking. People had to be drinking while they were, because if the bars weren't making money, then they weren't going to hire us to play back. And and there are probably lots of easier ways. I know there are lots of easier ways for musicians to grow in the music world. And I was just talking to somebody about this the other day, that I think I'm really proud of my story, and I'm pretty proud of all the work that went into making the story. And I wouldn't have it any other way right now, because I love this community of fans and gatherers and people that are surrounding what I'm doing these days. I mean, it is. I said this the other day as well, that I just feel like the luckiest fella in the universe to get to do what I do and be who I am. Despite living out of a van for most of the year on tour with my band, right? And but I think too that I could have there were probably other paths I could have taken that would have been less hard. And we didn't take the easy route, but it sure was pretty special experience to get where I am now. Lost some good people along the way. And, Turtle is still around. You all see him every once in a while, but he can't play with me anymore. And that's a heartbreaker. I never forget. So I like singing that song for him and his daughter, Jenna, who is now in college. Jenna wants her daddy home, 3 years old, a half-empty home. So that song was written 17 years ago, something like that. We were in the bars. All right, we'll do another sentimental song from Bobby. We all have pictures, one that haunts our dreams. I paint in colors bright. Solitude lies down below, then love is in between. Let me find this space tonight. Find me walking on this dusty road, this dusty road. Till the dust is just about all I see. Caught in this cloud tonight. At this point, there's nothing much for us to do, except you paint me and I paint you. We all have visions now of who we're supposed to be. I paint in colors bright. Reality is a mess and love lies somewhere in between. Let me find this space tonight. Find me walking on this dusty road, this dusty road, this dusty road. Till the dust is just about all I see. Caught in this cloud tonight. Dance around the fire of my changing point of view. You paint me and I paint you. We all have fantasies of living life in peace. Well, I paint and we paint in colors bright. Now we're all separate times until we love so loud it screams. Let us find this space tonight. Find us walking on this dusty road, this dusty road, this dusty road. Till the dust is just about all we see. Caught in this cloud tonight. In shades so bright, our leaders need to change their attitude. You paint me and I paint you. You paint me and I paint you. You paint me. All right, I'm gonna swap off now. This one's for Sherry, my favorite hippie girl in Maine. Sounds like it's coming down. I'm not looking out there. Can you see the rain behind me? Could be the drain. Oh no, it's coming. Yeah. This is how cool my wife is. She was out there swimming in that not too long ago in the rain. Yep. Hippie girl, she don't like socks. She keep a hemp jewelry in a handmade box. She got the nappy head beneath the torn bandana. She like Joni Mitchell and the old Santana. She dance to the right, she folds to the left. She's the one that I like the best. The tongue curls like a runner. She sang a love on another. Trying to run for the cover, but it on that long still I'm sneaking back like a random. She lights me up like a candle. drink it down like a handle. I'm gonna lie. And my girl live in a shack on a hill. In Damariscotta where the world is still. She get all the best green from my farm down the road. Near the creek in the hollow where the cops don't go. She votes to the left, she dance to the right. She is the one to keep me up all night. Her tongue cuts like a bugger. She's standing down another. Try to run for the cover, but it's not that long until I'm sneaking back like a window. She knocks me up like a candle, drink it down like a handle. I'm up all night, every night. Patchouli. 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 Vegan burrito. She don't shave nothing cause it ain't a style. If you go to Damariscotta, plan to stay a while. She will weave you a belt, then she'll take you down to the drum circle at the edge of time. She dance to the right, she go to the left. She is the woman and I'm the mess. Come on, the tongue comes like a brother. She's sending love one another, trying to run for the cover. Oh, they're running long until I'm singing back like a bando. She knocks me up like a bando. I drink it down like a handle. I'm up on her. My tongue cuts like a butter. Hey, she's sending down one another. Trying to run for the cover. But it's not that long until I sneaking back like a bando. She lights me up like a candle. Drink it down like a handle. I'm gonna hey, hey, ooh, yeah. I think that might be the first time in history Damariscotta has been squoze into a song. I didn't really do it very well. Very difficult. Very difficult.
Somebody's just texted from Vermont. They're checking in.
They're watching. Did your friends from Carver give you a text yet?
Yeah. They're following.
They said they got
They're,
tickets.
they're following the van up to South Bristol.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's going to be a good one. Yeah, we're playing right down the road from here on the 4th of July. It's going to be a really fun one. We had to pick a special spot for 4th of July because it was going to, it's a special day. We needed a big spot, a nice, big, beautiful spot. And we're returning to this really cool place. Y'all should check it out if you haven't before. It's called The Patio. It's a cool little farm-to-table spot. Family-run kind of little restaurant. And it's right on the water in South Bristol, Maine. And the food is insanely good, and the people there are super nice and cool. And for those of you that want to know more about Bobby and Sherry in this place, you look for the Mill Pond Inn in Damariscotta, and you'll find out everything you need to know. I probably stayed in almost every one of these rooms at this point, Sherry. I'm not sure.
We've never been out.
people said they'll see you in Fairleigh, Vermont.
Oh, all right. Done. See you in Vermont. Oh, we had a great weekend in Vermont the other weekend. Oh, it was so much fun. Oh, what a beautiful state.
Yeah, it is beautiful.
It's a beautiful state. I mean, all the, Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont. Once you get off the beaten path in New England, and for those of you, and I know that there are lots of you that are watching from other parts of the world, and so, and I know, and I apologize because I talk a lot about New England because it's where I'm from and it's where my heart is, and but the northern part of New England, especially, all for different reasons, has so much beauty. So does southern New England too, really. But you gotta work a little harder to find it sometimes. There are more humans, There's a general trend: more humans, less beauty.
Funny how it works.
Funny how that works. Not trying to make a political statement. I'm just saying that seems to be how it shakes out, generally speaking.
Oh, nice.
Hello. So, the coast of Maine is one of the places that is Allie's favorite. You know about her. About her obsession with the desert. Our adventures at our cabin out in the desert. And, well, this is right up there. It's about as far away from the desert as you can get, as a matter of fact. We're about 3,000 miles away from that desert, but man, it is beautiful. Even when it rains, it's beautiful. And when my wife finds a place beautiful, I make sure my wife gets to that place. That's my general strategy in life. Working out so far. I love you, we're two of a kind, but I will never understand your beautiful, changing, complex mind. Patience, empathy, and the strength to laugh at what we think we believe. And I say, hey, our name, but you say, nah, hey. All I know are snakes and snails, and you're full of grace and fairy tales, and we dance in circles around this world, 'cause I speak boy and you speak girl. You speak girl. Black and white, got joy and pain. The times we fight and make up again. Late in the night with your body pressed up next to mine. The mysteries we solve, discoveries we find. And I say, hey, your name, but you say, nah, hey. All I know are snakes and snails, and you're full of grace and fairy tales. And we dance in circles around this world, 'cause I speak boy and you speak girl. You speak girl. And I sound something like, hey, name. And you sound something like, no, nah, hey. And I say, but wait, just, hey, name. And you say, fuck you, nah, hey. Ooh. All I know are snakes and snails. We're full of grace and fairy tales. And we dance in circles around this world, 'cause I speak boy, you speak girl, you speak girl. I just speak boy, I I'll just speak, boy. I'll just speak, boy. All right, rewind to last night. Post-gathering in the van. Just finished playing a show from the back seat. Climbed up into shotgun. Allie is driving the van north to Maine. Enter scene. Hey, baby, yeah, that one okay. No, I'm good to drive whenever you are. Okay. You're uncomfortable? Well, yeah. I mean, you know, you're, in my opinion, extremely pregnant at this point, and we can switch anytime. I'll be really happy to drive. I'm fine. Okay. You're uncomfortable? Well, that's great. I'm ready to drive. No, I don't need a rest. No, I promise. No, I would actually like to drive because I see you are in discomfort at this point, and okay, that's great. The next pull-off, cool. Okay, that was the next pull-off, and I'm still seeing you fidget in the car. Do you understand that when you're driving and you're uncomfortable, that is like all of my instinctual manness is screaming that I want to take that wheel from you so you can just recline in the seat. I love you and you are uncomfortable right now. Pull the fucking car over, please let me drive. All I know are snakes and snails. We're full of grace and fairy tales. We dance in circles around this world. 'Cause I speak, boy, and you speak, girl. You speak, girl, yeah. I wish I spoke, girl. I wish I spoke. Pregnant girl, I wish I did. I speak, boy, and you speak, girl. Hopefully not. I waited till Allie was gone for that one. Actually, it would have probably been more fun if she was here. She would have. I've been trying to antagonize her enough to get her on camera before gathering 500. That's my goal. We'll see if she actually does. She has yet to make an appearance, and understandably so. I mean, what an amazing partner I have. I have brought to date 22 million people into our private home and life every single night, and that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people that if you are my partner, you don't really know, and that's a strange thing, right? It's a strange thing to have so many people know your story, and pretty incredible, I think, because I was the same way when Allie met me 15 years ago, and she dove right in with me, and so anyways, she actually talks about popping on screen one of these days. If you know Allie, you know she'll find her own right time when it's time. Another Bobby request here. It's 3 days till we close on the weekend. 3 days till it's on. 3 days till I coast like a demon. 3 days till I'm gone. Ba-da-dum, da-dum, ba-da-dum, da-da-dum, da-dum, da-da-dum. pinball out of control. But I got dreams, simple schemes. I'm on a run like a gambler, on a roll. It's 3 days till we roll on the weekend. Every clock is counting down. 3 days till I coast like a demon. 3 days till I'm found. Ba-dum-dum-dum-dum, ba-dum-dum-da-da-dum, ba-dum-dum-da-da-dum. Know you fight all your might goes to holding the anvil off of your back. Ease your mind in 3 days' time. You're gonna fire like a piston, hard on the track, yeah. It's 3 days till we roll on the weekend. 3 days till it's on. 3 days till I coast like a demon. 3 days till I'm gone, yeah. And it's 3 days till we roll on the weekend. Every clock is counting down. 3 days till I coast like a demon. 3 days till I'm found. It's 3 days. 3 days till I'm gone. 3 days till I'm gone. 3 days till I'm gone.
I fell in love with that song when I met you, and I'm still in love with it.
All right. The first concert you saw was, let me see if I remember, was it we were raising money
Benefit for farms.
for local farmers?
Yep.
Right. What town was that in?
Lincoln Theater.
I was right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the band.
Yeah.
The band all stayed here. That's how.
We stayed here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turtle stayed.
Turtle stayed here. Okay. We stayed here that night. Wow. All right. So that must have meant we had a Bobby breakfast the next morning. That's good work. Gold is for the sun, red takes all the fun, green I come undone, on forever. These are things I know, learn them as I grow, leave them when I go, on forever. As the light sets, singed with my regrets, spinning out in perfect disarray. I do not have the gift to see in black and white, but I'm okay by you tonight. Morning's my surprise, day is my disguise. Night I realize, home forever. Sometimes I can't hide when they all collide. I try to keep my stride, home forever. Wake to breathe my fate, I try not to hesitate. Know that it is all just in my head. I cannot differentiate the wrong from right, but I'm okay by you tonight. Beginners even made, middle's melody, the end's too sad to see. On forever, and I don't wanna let you down. When I'm not around, I'm captured by the sound of forever. Taste it as it starts, tangled up in hearts. Know that it will never be the same. But when it's feeling good, I just wanna hold on tight. And I'm okay by you tonight. I'm okay by you tonight. I'm okay by you tonight. Well, we're getting close to the end of our time together tonight, and I want to thank so many of you all out there for joining me again. Pretty incredible. 467 nights in that you still feel like hanging out with me. Makes me pretty happy and proud and grateful. I had a hard, we've gotten through a little challenging stretch together as far as us getting disconnected in the middle of gatherings and having all sorts of challenges. And that's how it is sometimes when we're on the road. We all know that. We've been there before, but it was tribute night the other night when I had a particularly challenging night. And I believe that I was playing... when it was at its worst. If I'm remembering right, I was playing my favorite, well, I can't say that actually, one of my favorite Bonnie Raitt songs at the time. And I think we got cut off in the middle of the song, and it feels like a mosquito bite that I haven't yet gotten a good scratching on yet. So I'm gonna play that song again, and just to get it out of my system before we finish up tonight. Okay. Turn down the light, turn down the bed, voices inside my head. Lay down with me, tell me no lies, just hold me close, don't patronize, don't patronize. 'Cause I can't make you love me if you don't. You can't make your heart feel something it won't. Here in the dark, in these final hours, I will lay down my heart. I feel the power, but you won't. No, you won't. 'Cause I can't make you love me if you don't. I'll close my eyes, then I won't see the love you don't feel when you're holding me. Morning will come and I'll do what's right. Just give me till then to give up this fight. And I will give up this fight. 'Cause I can't make you love me if you don't. You can't make your heart feel something it won't. Here in the dark, in these final hours, I will lay down my heart. I feel the power, but you won't. No, you won't. 'Cause I can't make you love me if you don't. If you don't, if you don't, raise up your glasses. Let us drink to the wind at our backs. It always blows steady wherever you roam. May it turn when you're ready to carry you home. May it keep you ahead of the rain. Raise up your glasses. Let us drink to the heavens above. Some say it's a glimpse of God's great design. Some say it's the science of all things combined. May we look up and always feel wonder. Here is to us and all that we see. Here's to our hearts and the air that we breathe. Here's to them, good company. Here's to raise up your glasses. Let us drink to this time that we had. For these moments pass lightly, won't come again. May our lives all burn brightly, right up to the end. May we live them with joyous abandon. Raise up your glasses. Let us drink to the end of the day. Let us drink to the work when the working is through. Let us drink one to me. Let us drink one to you. Let us drink one to those who aren't with us. Here is to us, and all that we see. Here's to our hearts and the air that we breathe. Here's to the land and good company. Here's to the future. Here's to the past. Let us drink one down slow. Let us drink one down fast. Let us drink one as this night is our last. Here's to the drink that we share. Oh, here's to the drink that we share. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, gatherers, and to my friends, Bobby and Sherry, for always looking out for me and Allie and my friends and my band every time we come through Maine. Pretty special. Like I said, I feel like the luckiest guy in the world for a lot of reasons, and one of those reasons is that I get to have amazing friends scattered all over this country of ours. Pretty amazing. And for those of you watching from different countries, you're just friends waiting to happen. That's all you are. We got to get across the pond or down south a little bit. It's all in the plans, sooner or later. Tomorrow, I want to remind you, it's going to be an exciting night. We're going to have Chris Trapper live with me in Chelsea. Chris is an incredible songwriter. For those of you that don't know him, you have 24 hours to look him up. You're going to be excited. And for those of you that know Chris Trapper, you're already excited, I'm sure, for the gathering tomorrow night. He used to live in Chelsea, where I live now. And so we've been kind of just chatting and wanting to get together and just talk about our musical lives and get to know each other a little better. And he said, you know what? I remember Chelsea well. I want to go hang out in Chelsea again. And so we're gonna have a little dinner together, and then we're gonna gather together. That's our plan. That's as far as the plan goes. So come and join us, y'all. And as always, please stay safe. Keep on looking out for one another. And I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers. Yeah.